she's not an artist. A lot of these don't be artists, bro. She's not an artist. She's a rapper. I wouldn't even call her a rapper because she don't even write her own rhymes. Really, I don't know what she is. Musician? Does she do music for real? She just like she's a persona.
Cardi B just dropped her highly anticipated single Outside, and it seems like people are rocking with it. This was a song that she had previewed before in the past, but when this song came out, there wasn't a whole bunch of buzz in terms of an immediate release. She wasn't
That nigga in the back look like Mbappe, ain't it?
screaming from the rooftops that she was about to drop this and telling us on Instagram every single time we saw her page. It just kind of came out, and it seems to be doing very well in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
It's #1 right now on Apple Music in terms of all singles, and the video on YouTube, which isn't even a music video, it's just like the official audio, had over 1.5 million views in less than 2 days. So it seems like this song is really starting to kick off another gain in momentum for Cardi B, and it seems like this single might be the start to her possibly getting hot again going into her sophomore album, which for some reason has taken up to 7 years now. What's good, YouTube? It's Justice. I used to be paying to.
I'm keeping it a bug. I don't get why niggas I don't get why Cardi B fans exist. Like, okay, she dropped the album. Then she dropped like 2 songs. It was WAP, and then like she dropped a few songs. I mean, I guess it's the same reason why there's Cardi fans, but even then, like Cardi has a label with niggas that are kind of associated with the sound a little bit. Uh, Cardi B does not have that. So I don't know. Like, I mean, I salute. I can't be mad at what niggas choose to do with they self, but yeah, I don't know.
Today I'm back with another video, and in this video,
But me personally, I didn't even listen to Invasion of Privacy. It's just not my type of music.
we're going to be talking about Cardi B and how she's basically trying to do the impossible. But before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. And honestly, I am pretty excited for this. Like, I am a decently big Cardi B fan. Like, I know a lot of people try to act like these girls don't be snapping like that, but I really do.
Some of these girls be snapping like that. Cardi B is not one of them. Never has been. Maybe Bodak Yellow, but that's because she stole Kodak Flow.
Like
Just
Cardi B,
saying.
so I'm pretty excited for this. Cardi B has been saying for like 5 years now, maybe longer, that she's about to drop her sophomore album. But now it feels like we might actually end up getting this album, because Cardi B not only just dropped that single Outside, but she actually made a whole album announcement that she posted all over socials, with the title of the album being Am I the Drama, and the album coming out on September 19th. Now, I know she said she was going to drop this album for the last
Second thought, hold on. This is just gonna be a Cardi B hate video. Fuck it. It's
years
just
now,
gonna be
but this
Cardi
is
B
actually
hate.
the
I'm just
first
gonna
time
hate.
that we've even
Openly.
gotten this far along with having an official date, an official name, an official announcement. So it really does feel like this album is finally coming. And what Cardi B is really attempting to do is the impossible, because the run that Cardi B went on from the explosion of Bodak Yellow all the way up until the release of Invasion of Privacy and all the music on Invasion of Privacy was truly insane. Like, she was going crazy, and it really felt like the music game was hers. Like, I felt like she was going to be the biggest thing in music for the foreseeable future. And in a way, that kind of happened. You know, at the time, she had like 3 #1 hits. She had a whole bunch of other hits that weren't necessarily #1, but were hitting the charts, maybe top 10, top 5. Like, she was going truly nuts. But the follow-up to Invasion of Privacy has really been kind of like shaky at best. It's been 7 years since the release of Invasion of Privacy, and artists taking like big breaks in between their albums isn't a super rare thing, even in hip hop. However, this is behavior that is reserved really only for the big dogs of rap. You know, guys like Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and even Nicki Minaj, because it's such a risk for pretty much any other artist to take big multi-year gaps in between their albums, because you're risking the fans forgetting about you, the fans eventually moving on, somebody else coming into your space and taking some of your fans away, and just kind of becoming irrelevant for the fact that you're not here. And the best ability is availability, at least in sports. I don't know about always in music, but still, you get what I'm saying. Like, that's typically a risk that comes with taking these big breaks. But when the big dogs do it, their fan base is already so solidified that they will wait and wait and wait. Like, their fans are always waiting on them at the drop of a dime to drop that album and go listen to it. It doesn't matter if it takes 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, sometimes even 7 years. So this is behavior that's not super rare. It's just really only reserved for the big dogs. But also, these long breaks are a little bit more acceptable from the top artists, at least by fans, because it typically comes with a reward, and that reward is something new, something fresh. It comes with an era change more times than not, complete with like a new look.
Yeah, I don't think Cardi B has that level of musical ability. Like she's no Tyler the Creator. She's no Kendrick Lamar. Even even Cardi, his sound changed a bunch. Like he's changed his sound a bunch. I don't think Cardi B has that. Like I just can't imagine Cardi B doing anything super different. So it's like niggas waited 7 years for Invasion of Privacy too. I don't get it.
A new sound.
But to be honest, I don't know if Cardi B would be as big as she is if it wasn't for the wait. Or maybe she'd be bigger. I don't know. That's a question.
A new
That's a
artistic
question.
vision, and oftentimes a deeper message, a message that relays what's kind of been going on with that artist over
Yeah,
the
like Cardi
last
B
break that they've been on. This is
isn't
one
doing
of the
all
main
that bad.
reasons why I believe what Cardi B is attempting to do is so difficult. When going away for so long, you have to deliver something kind of special. Like, you can't just come back with an album that's pretty good or maybe even somewhat similar to the first one and
Yeah, you
decent.
gotta be
You need
elite, bro.
something to make that time feel like it was worth it. Whether that's coming back and admitting a lot of your character flaws and creating art that not only acknowledges your flaws but talks about how you grew from them, like Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, or coming back with a completely revamped sound that's completely different from your last album, like Kanye from Yeezus to The Life of Pablo, or changing your aesthetic along with your sound, like Playboi Carti with his newest album Music, where he changed his sound and his clothes from that like punk rock to a much more traditional early 2000s Atlanta feel. My fear for Cardi B is that she comes into this album with some like decent to good, maybe even really good music, but it just doesn't feel fresh. Like something that required some sort of time off. Now, no album's gonna be good enough to justify a 7 year wait. If you're expecting this album to justify her being gone for 7 years, you're just
This shit
setting
gonna have
yourself
to
up to
be
be
Illmatic
disappointed.
too.
But I will say there should be
Nigga, Illmatic mixed with a whole lot of red mixed with finally rich,
enough
nigga.
new content on here to make it feel like an update of the Cardi B that we've known for close to a decade now. Like, she can come into this album making her same style of music from 2018 and it'll be pretty good, and there will be some songs on here that'll turn into hits because Cardi B is a hit maker. It just might end up feeling a bit out of place as an album in today's era. Cardi B doesn't really strike me as an artist that's going to have a crazy artistic change in
Hell
her
no.
product. She seems to be pretty surface level when it comes to her
Very.
style of music
Super.
and the meaning of her music, but that's not really an insult. Like, not every single piece of art is going to be this super deep thing where you have to think about it three
Yeah.
times, listen to it 4 times to really understand what's going on. Sometimes you just want to make a song about turning up with your girl. Sometimes you just want to make a song where you're saying F your ex. That's totally fine.
Type
I
shit.
just think that some of the moves that she's making are reminiscent of an artist that is a little bit deeper and a little bit more layered, whether that's in terms of meaning or in terms of what they're doing with their sound and their art. And that doesn't really match up with what Cardi B is doing. I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love for her to go a little bit deeper and change some things and
Yo,
really
you know what she's like? She's kind of like Lauren Hill. Yo, Cardi B is kind of like Lauren Hill, but like the difference is Lauren Hill made one of the greatest hip hop albums of all time. Well, hip hop or whatever you want to call it. She made a really good album that's legendary, stood the test of time. I don't know if niggas are listening to Invasion of Privacy in 2025. Personally, I just don't know that. Maybe they are. I just don't know. Okay, so it's like if who could I compare it to? It's like if Future tried to make albums like J. Cole. It's like if Future or even yeah, let's say if Future tried to put gaps between his music like Kendrick Lamar. That's kind of what it is. That's what it's like to me.
surprise me on this project. I just see her, though, as an artist that's going to be pretty much in her safe bubble for the rest of her career. And that's why some of the moves that she's making are a bit concerning to me, or at least the moves she's been making for the last 7 years, because this is something that you do when you're a Frank Ocean, a Kendrick Lamar, a Kanye West even. And Cardi B hasn't really struck me as an artist that fits into that sort of mold. Where Cardi B can bring some new life into this album, though, would be going into depth about how everything has been with her relationship with Offset. If this album is going to be monumental for Cardi, this probably has to be the Offset album. We've been subjected to this drama between them for like 2 decades at this point. The cheating rumors, the crash outs on social media, this new Stephon Diggs saga. It's just been non-stop oversharing for years at this point. It's to the point in which me saying this needs to be included in the album isn't even me like overstepping or, acting like I'm entitled to the artist sharing their personal life just because they're fans, because they have told us everything. They've ran to us every single time something has happened. On social media, all you gotta do is pull it up. It's there. There's a history of it. So it's not even me minding Cardi B's business or, you need to mind your business as a fan. At this point, it is my business. It is our business. You've told us everything. And it would be truly a waste to try and make a follow-up album to her debut without including the 7 years of drama that have gone on between her and her soon-to-be or current ex-husband. Like, that would truly just be ignoring the 27 elephants that have somehow snuck into the room. Not only because, artists tend to make their best music when they're emotionally vulnerable and telling us about something that really happened to them and really is affecting them in their real life, but because she clearly has so much to say about the situation. What is the point of telling your story through Twitter Spaces when you can tell your story through the music and get whatever message you really want across?
Cause she's not an artist, nigga. I'm telling you, she's not an artist. A lot of these niggas don't be artists, bro. She's not an artist. She's a rapper. I wouldn't even call her a rapper because she don't even write her own rhymes. Really, I don't know what she is, nigga. Musician? Does she do music for real? She's a persona. She's a persona. She's WWE. She delivers lines. She doesn't sing them, so can't call her a singer. I don't know what she is, bro. She's a persona, a character. You know what I'm saying? A star, but she's not an artist, so she's not gonna make art and put time into making art. She's not what's it called? She's not a rapper, so she's not gonna rap. So it's like what can you even? I just don't get why niggas listen to Cardi B. I dead ass don't get it, bro. What do you even get from Cardi B, gang?
To the people.
Like outside of a party where you're playing Cardi B's music, what are you doing? Like, are niggas waking up to play Cardi B? Do niggas get motivated by Cardi B? I don't get the appeal. I'm so serious.
People actually heard. Following up a debut album that big and successful is a very difficult thing, and oftentimes people fail to meet the expectations they unintentionally set for themselves by having such a great first album. So I understand wanting to be cautious with that next project, but there have been so many different missed opportunities to drop an album when Cardi was on fire. Not dropping her second album after WAP is one of the greatest missed opportunities of all time. That wasn't
So,
just a number one
for
song. That was
so,
a culture shifting moment where
yeah.
everyone was paying attention. Everyone was doing the dances on TikTok. Lots of people were disgusted by the vulgarity of the language, but regardless of if you loved it or you hated it, everyone had an opinion, and everyone had a very strong opinion. There wasn't a better song that an artist could have asked for when it comes to setting up your next album. Now, yes,
TikTok toxic.
I understand there was COVID and pregnancy and other factors, but I get that. Like, I understand.
Yo, bro, hold on. Story time, mini story time. And it ain't got shit to do with nothing, but I'm finna tell it anyway. So I had a friend when I was in middle school, right? He was in high school at the time. I was in middle school. I was in like 8th grade, COVID, right? Um, so this nigga only liked white women. He's like biracial and shit, but he only liked white women. So he thought Addison Rae was like the baddest in the world, and it really didn't make any sense to me. Is Addison Rae really that tough? I just don't see the vision
There was
personally.
COVID and pregnancy and other factors, but I get that. Like, I understand that ruined the start of the rollout, but regardless, if there ever was a moment in time in history to drop an album, it was.
Okay,
But
enough.
she's
I'm
felt
not.
more like an influencer
No.
than a musician over the last few years or so. And we talk more about her social media antics and whatever she's going through with Offset more than her actual music. Like, I don't know, like it started to feel like she didn't even really care that much about music, and that like if the album came out, it came out. If it didn't, she didn't really care that much to put it out. But even through all of that, even through like neglecting her music career and it almost feeling like an obligation whenever she would have to gear up to drop like her yearly single or her yearly like 2 to 3 features, Cardi B was still a hitmaker. Even in the time between Invasion of Privacy up until now, she's really done nothing but drop hits. Like, that's what Cardi B is. She's an artist that exists to dominate the charts. She isn't really the type of
Yeah,
artist to exist without commercial success. Everything about Cardi is commercial, and there's really nothing wrong with that. She exists to be played on the radio and walk red carpets, have late night talk show
yeah,
appearances, be
yeah. She's a persona,
on
like I said.
billboards, have cameos in movies. Yet, in order to get and have those things, her albums need to not only be considered good by the people, but they need to be big and commercially dominant. But Cardi B has kind of put herself behind the 8 ball with
You
this.
know what? Hot take, super hot take, super hot take. I think this shit flaps. This is hate. This is hate. But I think this shit flaps, and I'm gonna tell you why. Her last album dropped, I think it was 2018. That's 7 years ago. WAP dropped in like 2022. That is 3 years ago. So really, her target demo for her music is between, or should be between, let's say 16 and like 24, right? Late high school, college, just young people, right? I would say 18 to 24, but I think teenagers listen to that shit too. Actually, no, let's say 18 to 24, young adults, right? Young adults, they were ki- a 24-year-old was 17 when she last dropped the album. An 18-year-old was 11 when she last dropped the album. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think what happens is, I mean, the old heads, I doubt old heads fuck with Cardi B for real, you know. Um because specifically because of her content, like niggas isn't really listening to that unless you're like a Joe Budden type socialite that like parties still at the age of 40. Um even millennials, I don't see them really jacking that. Although actually no, millennials might be the ones to push her. I don't know. I don't think it does the numbers. I don't think it does the same numbers that Invasion of Privacy did. I think it does worse. It just doesn't look like it's gonna do well, bro. It doesn't look like it's gonna do well. The last song she dropped is cool, but it's not Bodak Yellow. It's not WAP, obviously. So I mean she has some time to drop more singles, but I don't think anything is gonna get to that level, bro. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's me.
Super
That's
long
what I
wait.
think.
More than almost any other artist, her numbers really do matter for her perception. Her selling 250K or 60K
And I think if it does flap, she has two options. She retires or she uh just 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 keeps dropping music, I guess. But
really matters a lot more than even it does for somebody like a Lil Baby, even though it still does matter for him. But Cardi B wasn't really the first of her kind. That was clearly Nicki as the prototype. However, this new wave of women didn't
Nicki was the actual rapper though.
really flood the game the way that they have with names like Glorilla, Meg Thee Stallion, Lotto, and others.
That's another thing. She's kind of gotten her place taken. So there's no reason for niggas to want to listen to her because they already have Lotto, already have Glorilla, already have Sexy Red. She's not shocking anyone with vulgarity because we have Sexy Red. Nothing about her delivery is that unique. It's just her persona. And the question is gonna be if niggas really care about her persona like that. That's gonna be the question.
Until Cardi kind of kicked that door down with Bodak Yellow, which is a good thing, yes, but it's also kind of a bad thing. It's a good thing because there are more women getting more opportunities in the space, but at the same time, we don't really need Cardi B anymore. Like, there are several women who are filling the hole that she left. So if Cardi doesn't really lock in and kind of capture the world again like she did in the past with this album, people really will start to move on and actually see her more as an influencer than a musician. And I
That's what
really
she's
do
been.
hope that she does well because I like Cardi B. I like her energy. I like her music. I hope that she does well. I hope she sells 1 million first week. But she really did put herself in a position where it's going to be a hell of a challenge. She has a big mountain to climb. She has a wall against her back. And
Nah, hey, Pay looking moisturized today. That nigga had to go somewhere this day. He had to go somewhere
the
today.
odds aren't in her favor right now, okay? Because this album could very easily
Nigga
sell
had his
80K
lineup,
first
his
week.
mustache.
But if she really gets on it, she really gets hot
Hmm. Nigga had his line. Whoa, nigga, can I talk? I said nigga had his lineup mustache. He had his mustache lined up. The joke fell apart, bro. It's
again
over.
because she still does have a very big fan base. I could see this still in
You know what he looks like, bro? PBS Kids shows, right? I think it was on PBS Kids. Was it on PB? Yeah, Arthur. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Damn, the joke fell through, bro. Okay, nah. He kind of looks like Arthur a little bit. I can see it.
case. But if you made it this far, I
Especially when he
greatly,
has his
greatly
glasses
appreciate
on,
it.
he look like
Let me
Arthur.
know what you think down below in the comments about Cardi B.
Word.
But
Yeah,
if you made it this far, again, I appreciate you. Make sure you leave a
I
like,
appreciate
comment,
you.
subscribe, do all those things. It helps me out a ton. I go
For
by the name
sure.
of Pay. Peace.
Peace. If you fuck with the video, you know what to do, bro. Like and subscribe, bro. We going to 1K. We going Cloud9 on niggas.